Hi everyone, this is CricketSong with Lunar Wisdom, and today's video is going to be discussing witches' ladders. I was inspired to do this video because I was sitting here actually crafting my witches' ladders, and I realized that this would make a great video for me to share with my viewers and subscribers. And the reason why I was crafting these witches' ladders is because it is an item I sell on my online shop. So I know I don't talk about my online shop very much, but I do have one. And I'll put the link in the information section of this video so you can go check it out and purchase one of my witches' ladders for yourself if that's something you're inspired to do. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is give you some information, and then I'm going to show you some footage of me actually crafting my witch's ladder. I'll talk about the materials that I use to craft mine, why I use what I use. The only thing I will not share with you is the actual incantation I use when I'm crafting the ladder, but I'll give you other information. That is kept secret. It's just something I do not share. So, witches' ladders. What is a witch's ladder? What is it that I'm talking about? Maybe you've never heard of it, or maybe you've heard of it and have a different idea of what a witch's ladder is, but I'm going to talk to you about my understanding about a witch's ladder and what I've come to discover when I researched them way back when. So basically, a witch's ladder is a cord, and it either has knots or charms or items or beads braided or tied into the cord. So it is a form of knot magic or cord magic, and that would then lend itself with the intention of a binding spell. They are considered fetishes, and what I mean by a fetish is that it is an object containing supernatural powers or a man-made object that has influence or hold some sort of power over another, which is what a binding spell is. You know, you are binding something, an intention, a goal, to something or someone else. So that's what the form, why people use witches' ladders. Now, traditionally, a witch's ladder is made of a length of cord, twine, ribbon, yarn. I use yarn, a specific length, with a specific number of knots. Usually you'll see 3, 9, or 13 in the witch's ladder, but the number of knots or objects included in the witch's ladder could change, could vary, depending on what the intention or the purpose of the ladder is being crafted for. You will see traditionally a witch's ladder nowadays is made with the colors red, white, and black, but it doesn't always have to be. It could be all one color. I've seen them all done in red or a natural color like a brown or a tan, depending on what it is that is used to do the actual braiding of the cord. You can include feathers. Sometimes you can include feathers in the cord or personal items of the person or the intended individual that the cord is being made for. It could be braided into the cord. If you're using feathers, you could use different colored feathers to correspond with the intention. You could use the color of the cord. Say you were doing a prosperity witch's ladder, maybe you might want to use green in the cord, or green feathers, or green items, or symbols, depending on how you feel drawn to craft your witch's ladder. I think that's all the information I want to share with you right now. I'll give you the history of the witch's ladder as I actually craft one, so you'll hear me talking over what I'm doing, and then I can tell you specifically after about what it is and why I use the different things I use in my witch's ladder. So we're going to cut over to some footage of me actually crafting the ladder. The first witch's ladder was found in Wellington in Somerset and is currently kept in the Magic and Witchcraft case at the Pitt Rivers Museum in Oxford, England. Now, that witch's ladder was made of a length of twine which measured 1.5 meters long and had a loop at one end. Feathers were inserted along the entire length of the cord, and it was speculated that this fetish was used for getting away the milk from a neighbor's cow and for causing death in people. Now, the information that I just gave you was gathered about the witch's ladder from a note that was sent with the witch's ladder to the museum in 1911 by a woman named Anna Tyler. Now, prior to that donation, in the year 1887, in the Folklore Journal, there was an article written by Dr. Abraham Coles titled A Witch's Ladder. And in the article, he discloses how the witch's ladder was discovered. Now, he wrote that the item had been found in the roof space of an old house that was demolished nearly 10 years earlier in 1878 or 79. And with that fetish, there were 6 brooms and an old chair. And according to Dr. Coles, the workmen who found the witch's ladder said that the chair was for the witches to rest in, the brooms for the witches to ride on, and the witch's ladder was a ladder enabling them to cross the roof. Now, Coles stated that he wasn't able to discover what they based these claims on, but that the workmen had no hesitation on calling the item a witch's ladder when they saw it. So when they saw it, they said, oh, that's a witch's ladder. Now, during the time the discovery was found, Charles Godfrey Leland was in Italy, and he heard about this. And then so he decided to start investigating in Italy if there were similar claims of witches there using these types of things. And what he found was that the witches in the witches in Italy used a similar item, but they called it a witch's garland. And theirs were made of a type of cord, but they used black hen feathers and they knotted the feathers in the cord, while the other ones in Wellington and that cord was braided in. So there was a little difference there. And Leland also discovered that the witches' garlands were more used for curses, so they had personal items like hair and things like that knotted into the cords. Now, today, witches' ladders are used in Wicca as well as other forms of witchcraft, but it's believed that the tradition of using them is really drawn from Garland, Murray, and Leland, because there was no other discoveries of witches' ladders that really, I guess, what do you want to call it? It never really made it a concrete assumption that they've always been used. So it's possible that the witches' ladders that we see today and we use today all originate from that original one found in Wellington, Somerset, and not from just because every witch used them. So it's possible that the use of this fetish was originated from that one. So today, what do we use witches' ladders for today? Well, they're used to bind or prevent someone from causing harm, but can also be used for other positive intentions. You can create a ladder one section at a time or all at a time. Each knot or item is braided into the cord or tied, and a chant or a spell is usually spoken. The incantation is spoken aloud with visualizations done as each item is braided into the cord. When you do the final knot, that's what seals the spell. The final knot seals it. All the energy is then stored in your cord, and sometimes cords are kept in a box or just kept in a safe place. And when you want to use the magic that is sealed into the cord, you untie it and you release it, and then you can bury the cord and the items in the ground. Some witches use it as like a rosary or a mala beads to count during meditation or chanting, so that you can concentrate on your intention without having to focus on counting. Okay, I said it once, I said it twice. You don't have to worry about that. You just use the cord or the witch's ladder to count. So these are the witch's ladder. This is one that I finished. It's completed. All it's missing is the circle. There is actual like a keychain loop that I put on the end of them. I just haven't attached it to this one yet. But these are the witch's ladders that I use, or I craft. They have 9 little charms on them, each one signifying or representing a specific energy or intention. So for example, and each one that I craft is unique. So you may never get 2 of the same when you purchase them from me. So this one has a sun, a fairy, a spider, a dragonfly, a pentacle, and again it repeats it on this side. Actually this fairy is more like a fairy goddess. So basically, and this has a moon on this end instead of a sun. And so each of these, this particular one has the intention, you know, of God energy as well as goddess energy, masculine and feminine. It has some creativity and transformation and the magic of the fairies, of nature and nature fairies, and all that sort of wonderful intention there. I braid them with the red, the black, and the white. The 3 phases of the goddess is why I braid them with those 3 colors. So it has a lot of positivity. Some of them that I braid are just for protective purposes. The pentacle does represent protection. So I almost, when I craft them, the idea is sort of to get a wonderful mixture of positivity. And like I said, the only thing missing on this is the circle, so that you can hang it inside your home, or you can hang it in your car, or wherever you want to hang it. But that's how I craft mine. I do not use them as a counting, although you could. They really hold intention of positivity, creativity, and duality of what I believe Wicca is all about. So these are available on my shop. They are about 18 inches long, and each charm is braided in at about the 2-inch mark. So that's all I have to say about witches' ladders. If you're watching this video and have some insight or suggestions or just experiences with crafting your own witch's ladder, I'd love to hear about it. So leave a comment or send me a message. And as always, I love you. Mwah.